South Australia's Office for Ageing Well offers a range of services to help older people to connect and contribute to the communities in which they live. So that includes the Seniors Card program, which provides nearly 400,000 members who are over 60 with transport concessions and discounts from over 700 businesses across the state. We've also got the Retirement Villages unit, whose customers include over 160 village operators, over 26,000 existing residents and their families and prospective residents as well. And the Adult Safeguarding unit that works to protect the rights of vulnerable adults at risk of elder abuse. So our office uses Salesforce to manage all of these functions. And my role is to provide a system admin function across all of the instances, but I primarily head up the Seniors Card program and the business services part of Office for Ageing Well.
Great. Well, thanks for being with us today. And my first question for you, Ev, Simplus and the Office of Ageing Well, we've partnered together for a few years, but maybe for the audience, can you tell us how you started your Salesforce journey in the beginning?
Yeah, no worries. It was over 10 years ago now. So it was in 2009 that we originally implemented Salesforce to manage the sales and opportunities for our business customers. But very quickly, we started to recognise the rapidly increasing digital savviness in older people and the need to deliver customer-centric service and support older people to feel connected to their communities. So we launched the fortnightly Weekend Plus magazine. So this digital magazine is filled with lifestyle content and events and new restaurants and provides older people with ways that they can be active and connect with their communities. So to deliver that into inboxes, we used an email marketing platform, but there wasn't any synchronisation with the existing CRM that we had, which was a basic Microsoft Access database. And that resulted in double handling of data, significant risks around the data handling, privacy consent, and in our worst nightmare, we did have customers who had opted out and were still receiving emails. So we undertook a project to expand Salesforce to be a full CRM for all of our members, which was great, but we still weren't synchronising the CRM with our email marketing platform, which was resulting in poor customer service and poor engagement. Around that time, we also implemented 2 Service Cloud instances for our Retirement Villages unit and Adult Safeguarding unit to case manage and administer legislation.
So that's several different Salesforce modules, Salesforce clouds, and some pretty good initiatives to get you going. So what was the turning point in managing all those different orgs and clouds that you realized that you needed support through a managed services engagement?
Yeah, well, it was in early 2018 that we engaged Simplus to transition away from our existing email marketing platform and to integrate Marketing Cloud with Sales Cloud. So that was a really successful project with Simplus. We had no IT support from within our own department, so it was really important for us to have the right ongoing support for all of our instances. So we entered into a 12-month support plan, which was just purchasing a set number of support hours for 12 months. And then it was after that my account executive at Simplus suggested that I chat with you, Kyle, I think it was in your first week of being in Australia, about the managed services as a more flexible and robust support solution.
So comparing the kind of old support model, which is very typical of what's normally on the market, to the managed services model that you put in place with Simplus, what is the major difference that you see?
The major difference is the flexibility in the hours, the ability to track exactly how we're using those hours. The regular contact that I've got with the managed services team has just been fantastic.
Great. Now, how has the pandemic impacted the Office for Ageing Well and how you operate internally?
Well, I mean, a huge part of our business in Office for Ageing Well has turned to aged care, which is traditionally a responsibility of the Commonwealth Government, but, there's been directions about visitation and flu vaccine requirements from the 1st of May that's resulted in a huge increase of work for a lot of my colleagues. From a seniors card perspective, the majority of my team are working from home, so it's been really important for us to come up with solutions to maintain the self-imposed KPIs that we have to ensure that members continue to have access to services and information and the benefits of the program. our resourcing has been impacted. We're receiving a whole lot more calls, more emails, and more out-of-the-box queries. So it's really important that we have efficiency in the systems that we use.
Yeah, I'm sure you weren't able to plan for COVID-19. So how has managed services supported you through this major change, and is it very different from what your business as usual looks like?
But I think one of the main benefits of the managed service is that it's always responsive, so that's been a consistent throughout. There has been a huge increase to contact in contact to our unit, a huge increase in the number of applications, and in turn we've increased the email communications that we've been sending out to our members through Marketing Cloud. So there have been a few issues that we've encountered, but we've been able to respond really quickly to those things through managed services to ensure that that important information is still getting to this really vulnerable group of people. It's been, to help relieve the impact on resourcing, we're actually working with Simplus at the moment through managed services to progress our member self-service project earlier than we expected to allow members to undertake some of those services online, which is really great timing.
Great. Now, your move onto the Salesforce platform, just having known you, I know that it's resulted in some cost savings for you guys, and you've had 0 customer complaints about what's been put into place. How have you been maintaining your customer service through this period and maintaining 0 complaints? That's very amazing.
Yeah, I mean, when social distancing and restrictions started to be implemented, my team and I realised pretty quickly that we had a major role in getting important messaging out to older people who, as I said before, are the most vulnerable demo through this pandemic. So, particularly we have the largest online database of older people in the state. We've got an online audience of over 90,000. So there are other organisations like COTA who are looking after those things who aren't online. So we're really focused on the online cohort. So half of my team are, committed to the customer service, talking to older people on the phone, often for a whole lot longer than we would usually, relieving their concerns, answering their questions, making sure they still have access to the benefits that they enjoy with their seniors cards. The other half of my team is spending their time compiling important, useful, and often fun messaging to get out digitally. And, with Marketing Cloud, it's actually been really easy to develop an EDM template, populate the content. Information is changing so rapidly that we're currently sending 2 or 3 EDMs per week. The engagement is consistently higher than usual, meaning that older people are really engaged and they're looking to us as a trusted source of information in these difficult times. We've received some beautiful feedback, some really lovely feedback from our members, which has been really, really nice to see. The one that really stands out for me is the one that says, thank you so much for all the information that we can do while isolated. I'm not very good with technology, so being able to click on the various links in the emails you send is wonderful, which means that our template that we've built for our EDMs in Marketing Cloud is working. It's having the desired effect to help older people to find that information.
That's fantastic. Now, has the managed services engagement helped you to achieve these results, and how has it, and how closely do you work together with Simplus and the managed services team to coordinate your efforts?
Yeah, we work really closely, and we have weekly status meetings, which have always been over Zoom. So I was a Zoom expert well before all this happened. Adrian and the lead in the Philippines have been great, so I meet with them weekly. We run through cases and utilisation. If I need to log a new case or I send an email, there's usually an immediate response to note that the issue or the query or the bug has been received. So there's often email back and forth daily. There's 2 main points of contact, and that makes for an easy and close working relationship.
Great. As you mentioned, you're a Zoom expert from working through this, engagement with us. I should note that from the very beginning of Simplus, we wanted to make our workforce available to any customer anywhere. So even though COVID-19 is forcing a lot of companies that are not used to working in remote situations, our team has been doing it for about 6 years plus. So I'm glad we were prepared, and it has been a pretty seamless working relationship with SA Health. Now, you mentioned flexibility as being a key kind of thing that you like about managed services. How have you found the flexibility related to contract hours, and has this relieved any pressure on your internal resources that you have within your department?
Well, I mean, as I said, I work across 4 instances. So I provide the system admin with one other staff member supporting me, which means that relieving the pressure on the resources when it's just me and one other staff member, having the managed services means that I've got an extended team. So, and I have flexibility across the hours in the month as well, and having those weekly status meetings about the utilisation means that I always know where I stand. So, you know, I had the confidence that we had a huge spike in March. You know, our average is still on track. So that's clearly outlined in utilisation. It's discussed in those weekly meetings. The costs are always predictable. And as I said, I feel like my team is expanded by having that managed services there.
That's great, and I'm happy to hear that. You know, related to spikes, I won't go into the full detail of how our model works, but it is set up in a way that lets you accommodate those spikes and adjust to the unexpected, so you can get business continuity without having to really worry about what it means from a cost perspective. So being able to adjust to the unexpected but still predict your costs is extremely important, and it's even more important when there's uncertainty. So I'm glad to know that you're getting that value out of the engagement as well. Now, last question for you, Ev, is what do you anticipate the Office for Aging Well looks like post-COVID-19, and what changes do you think you'll retain as we go into the future?
Yeah, I mean, specifically for seniors card, I mean, we have an ageing population that is becoming increasingly tech savvy. We know that, we've seen that in the past couple of months. The willingness for older people who haven't been online to go online to connect with family and friends is increasing, and I don't think that's going to stop once we're past COVID-19. I think that we will have an increased membership based online. You know, we've got 90% of our applications for a new seniors card now coming in online. That's going to continue going up. Through this process, we've had a huge increase in our membership. There's a number of reasons for that. I think one is some of the additional benefits that have come out through this, like some of the supermarket benefits, but also the trusted information that comes from the seniors card team. I think because people are seeing that there are benefits and ways to connect through technology, more and more people will be doing that and getting more interested in doing that. So I think that more seniors are likely to be online moving forward. So we need to keep the trust and the customer centricity top of mind. So one of the things that we're doing at the moment, working with managed services, is expanding our self-service online service for members, as I mentioned earlier, so managing subscriptions and updating all of their details online. So we're excited to be able to launch that sooner than we were expecting to.
Well, great. It's been a pleasure kind of asking you a few questions, and thank you very much for sharing your answers with the audience here.